How on earth are you supposed to plant cover crops without tearing up all these plants and weeds that grew over the summer? Where are you going to find any bare soil, much less get a seed buried in it? Okay, so here are a few of the techniques that we have used successfully on Astarte Farm in Hadley, Massachusetts, to do just that. At the far western edge of the field, in the area that was used to grow summer cucumbers on top of rye straw mulch, we are using two methods to prepare the soil. On the right, we have flail mown the cucumber vines and then covered the area with old greenhouse plastic in order to solarize the patch. The clear plastic encourages weed seed germination and then fries the tender plants in just a few sunny days. Heavy steel T-posts are holding down every edge as tightly as possible to keep the heat high. Over to the left is an area that we have scalped with the flail mower. This treatment is a little rough on the surface biology, pulverizing the remnants of the straw mulch and chopping off the weeds at or slightly below the soil level. While not our first choice for bed prep, it quickly provides us with a plantable surface, largely leaving the underground fungal mycelia undisturbed. Up at the other end of the farm, Amelia is taking her first crack at using an old earthway broadcast seeder to put down oats on 3 more scalped beds. By varying the speed at which she cranks the handle and then adjusting her walking pace, she can control both the width of the spread and the thickness of the seed falling on the ground. There is an on-off trigger under her left hand and a simple spring-loaded slide that helps to meter the flow of the seed. Amelia then follows up with a bucket of oats and hand broadcast seeds into any spots that look a little thin. The bed on the right looks like it's going to cause us plenty of problems with all the grass weeds that escape the scalping. Once we are done harvesting the arugula under the white row cover, we may have to flail both beds again, or possibly use occultation strips to prepare those 2 beds for the next crops. The next step in establishing our cover crop is to run our trusty earthway garden seeder over the 3 beds that have already had the oats broadcast onto them. We have fitted the correct seed plate, inoculated the seed with beneficial nitrogen-fixing bacteria, and set the shoe at the correct depth for field pea seed. Each seed makes a satisfying click as it falls into the shoe, which allows Amelia to keep her eyes up and the rows evenly spaced. The shoe that opens the furrow throws a small amount of dirt off to each side, which helps cover some of the oats. We usually try to fit 5 rows of field peas onto each 4-foot bed top. Both crops will reliably winter kill in our location, and we just need to be careful not to plant this cover crop too early, because the lush growth as it matures may topple over and clog up the pathways. For the final step, we use our compost drop spreader to put down the thinnest layer of compost possible. This additional ½ inch covers any remaining oat seed and primes the existing soil biology for a burst of growth in the waning days of summer. It also provides an organic cap that helps to keep the soil moist. Amelia and I both found mushrooms in these beds the day after they were scalped, and that is a testament to our careful treatment of our soil. To the right of the white row cover, you can see 2 black strips of occultation ground cover. Sometimes called weed mat, this material is woven polyester that allows water and oxygen to reach the surface of the bed. It also collects heat from the sun during the day and speeds up the breakdown of organic matter on the surface of the soil. This is what those 3 beds looked like 4 days after seeding. We had seen a smattering of rain in those 4 days, but most of the germination moisture has come from the soil and the light compost top dressing. Over in the round bed behind the greenhouses, the compost was at least partially spread by hand. The drop spreader is mounted on a trailer, and it can be a bear to maneuver in any kind of tight spot. But the real tale here is the overhead irrigation. This plot was seeded and covered on the same day, but what a dramatic difference in the speed of germination. Our seeding rate may be a little heavy, but the growing roots are going to continue working their magic on the structure and vitality of this soil. We've also been experimenting with silage tarps a lot this year, and this is an area that was covered, I think, for 5 or 6 weeks after some of the spring or maybe summer lettuces came out, and the silage tarps have really done a nice job cleaning up what was a pretty weedy mess down here. This is ready to go for cover crop or possibly a following crop, and we're pretty happy with the performance we've seen from them. I have tried to keep this short and to the point about a few of the ways we accomplish cover cropping on a no-till market garden. But somehow I can't let go of mentioning our tireless helpers, our native pollinators. Here they are at work on a volunteer cut flower called Kiss Me Over the Garden Gate. You may recognize the plant's form as a relative of the much smaller polygonum, sometimes called smartweed. In that vein, please don't forget that cover crops can also be a valuable pollen source. Buckwheat in late summer can fill the void when there is a dearth of native blooms, but trees, grasses, and yes, even weeds can be an absolute lifeline for these essential creatures. Thanks for watching. Leave questions or comments below and I'll do my best to answer. Catch you next time.